Welcome back, people. We're going live on location at Soul Head Cafe. Miss Lily, holla at the people. What's up? What's up? What's up?
This motivation. Sucker, get on your job. If you hate, get on your job. You can look me in my eyes, see I'm ready for whatever. Anything don't kill me, make me better.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another episode of Likeable Figures. You're not rocking with your boy, Major Wala, and you know the channel is all about seeing the American consumer do better and be better. And today in this episode, I got somebody that was basically feeding me when I was hungry. Basically coming was doing entrepreneurship right before my eyes, but I was so busy caught up in being an employee and thinking that I'm killing them working in all these overtime hours, but really they killing me. And this person was doing it right there in front of my eyes and was making, from what I saw anyways, not counting her pockets, whatever, but she was making a killing from what I saw, Monday through Friday, some even on the weekends, really. But she owned her own restaurant. She marketed a restaurant on TV. You might have seen her marketing on social media. And she go around through and she caters too. She caters and the food is A1, A1 delicious. I ain't just talking. A business located right here in Mobile, Alabama. I'll let her tell you the exact address. But Miss Lily from Soul Heaven, say something to the people, Miss Lily.
Hey, how y'all doing? I'm Lily with Soul Heaven Cafe and Catering. I'm at 3365 Moffitt Road, Suite A, Mobile, Alabama 36607, right here in the Chevron gas station, right here at the railroad track at the interstate.
Yeah, like she serve all types of food. I just know I've been privy to eat all type of thing. I know that broccoli casserole was a
Yes.
fan favorite out there at the shipyard. We used to go crazy over the sets. We racing to the table. For real. So if I ain't ever tell you, I just want to tell you I appreciated you for coming out there because sometimes, I was young at that time. So being young, I wasn't carrying no lunchbox to work. So heaven saved my life and basically fed me when I was hungry, for real. So I just want to say I thank you for doing that too, for having the mind to
Oh,
do it,
yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome.
no doubt.
Yeah.
So what we do here on Likeable Figures, we basically talk to entrepreneurs and basically want to get to hear your story and how you started out and where your mindset was to make you go, to start your own restaurant. So in the beginning of all my interviews, I like to ask the guests, what is their definition of entrepreneur and entrepreneurship? What would you say your definition is?
When it comes to me, my definition, when it comes to entrepreneurship, is somebody that's dedicating themselves to build whatever
It's a
industry they
that's
want to go in, whether it's selling books or a lawn service or catering service or whatever. It's just the dedication that you got to put into your business for you to be a successful entrepreneur.
straight up. Because that's what I would say too. Like basically taking your life in your own hands. You got a
Right.
dream, you got goals you want to accomplish. Hey, so
Also,
yeah,
you have to look at when you working for someone. Once you hit that clock, once that clock over with, you don't get paid anymore. That's over with. It's done. That's it. And when you
exactly.
leave there, all you do is get a paycheck, but you don't have nothing to look back on. So once that check is gone, that's gone. But when you're building a brand or building something for you, that names linger on. I've been in
Fact.
business for 13 years. And all you got to say, Soul Heaven, and the first thing they gonna say, Miss Lily.
Exactly. Hey, and then that's I can vouch for that because that's 100% fact. Yeah, you hear Soul Haven around the city, hey, Miss Liddy is you already know who it is. So, but when you started, before you started Soul Haven, what would you say inspired you to start your own restaurant? Like, where did you get the thought to
Well,
go try to do it?
what happened was, and I'm gonna tell you a little short story. When I
Okay.
was a little girl, my grandmother, I used to always bake and cook with her. So
Mhm.
when I graduated from school, I went to school to be a nurse. And I was
Okay.
like, got to the point to where that you had to start sticking people, and I just couldn't do that. So I
Mm.
quit, and I said, so I'm gonna just do something that that's natural for me, and what's
Yeah.
natural for me was cooking. So I decided to go to school for it, and I ended up going to school to get my culinary arts degree, and it went on from there. I actually have 4 degrees, but it just lingered on from there. One of the reasons why I decided to do my own business because when I was a manager for these different franchises, I seen all the money that they're making, and I'm putting
Mhm.
all of my effort, my time, my everything into their business. I need to be
Mhm.
doing it for myself.
Facts.
Why I'm
Facts.
not why I'm not why I'm not grinding just as hard for myself as I'm grinding for this franchise.
Exactly. And I would say that would be the turning point for any person, especially once you see it. Like, because I can say that's what the turning point for me. When I was talking to the guys that was actually working for the Navy, which also works for the Navy, and I talked to those Navy guys, and they saying like, oh
Mhm.
no, you know, now the Navy pay Ulster 150, $200 an hour for one of y'all, like for one A class
Mhm.
worker. And I started to sit
Mhm.
back thinking about them like, man, they only giving me not even a quarter of that. So
Mhm.
I'm thinking like, bro, so they
Right.
taking a lot of money off top. It started to make me think like, just like with anything, cutting
Mhm.
out the middleman makes so much sense. Cause like if I
Right.
get it from a source, I get a better price. I can
And I
gain
get
more
more
privilege.
percentage of it. I get yeah. Yep.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So the same
Mhm.
way with entrepreneurship. If I made $100,000, I would rather work for myself and make 60. If it makes
Okay.
$60,000 a year,
Mhm.
I would rather work for myself and make that than work someone else and make
Mhm.
100,000. It makes more
Mhm.
sense to follow your dreams because everybody got dreams. Everybody got goals and
Right.
ambition that you wanted to do.
Right.
So
That's true.
so you say you used to work for different other household
Franchise.
franchises.
Mhm.
We ain't gotta say they name to promote them and nothing like that. But when your priorities was working for them and now you started doing for yourself, like how did your priorities change when you made that transition?
Well, one of the things that I had to realize that now I wasn't spending somebody else's money, I was spending my money. So
Yeah.
I had to be mindful of how I spent and how I moved to be able to build my franchise for myself. You see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Because I couldn't keep moving the way I was moving when I was spending their money. Franchise, they got much money.
Yeah.
They just put it out there for you. If
You
they
gotta
need it,
blow
they
it.
gonna pay it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But when you're a small business like me, you have to be mindful. You have to look to see, hey, do I really need this or this necessary for the business? How is this gonna grow the business? How is this gonna bring profit in for this business for me to invest in it? So it's like always investing. You investing in yourself. So you got to invest in whatever you're doing. Whatever you got going, you want to invest in. You want to make the best decision and the best investment for your business.
Exactly. Make that money stretch. Try to get more
Right,
bang for your buck. That makes sense.
right,
Because like you
right.
say, working for the other franchises, hey, they got money and it's not your money. So you
Mhm,
can be careless with them. And if you order too much of
mhm,
something, hey, what
mhm.
y'all gonna
Yep,
do? Like, but for yourself,
yeah.
man, I'm paying
Can't
attention
do
to
that. You
every
got
dollar. Every dollar gotta
every
be
dollar,
accounted for. Right? So that makes sense.
everything.
So
Yep, you gotta.
along the way, from being, you say you've been in the business 13 years. If you could pick out one thing that you say that you would have did different, if you could start over, that will further along your process, that will put you further in the process, what was that one thing you say you would have did different?
Well, one of my things, me, the person that I am, I'm one of those ones. If I'm climbing, I like to see other people climb. But
Mm,
sometimes we have to realize that everybody's not meant to climb at the level that you're climbing at. So don't let people attach hold to you to try to ride up. You see what I'm
mm-hmm.
saying? If they're not putting in the same amount of effort or work that you're putting in, then disattach yourself from that. Don't let mutual attach on to you, if that makes sense to you.
No, yeah, that do make sense. And it's sad to say, and it be the
Right.
people that's closest to you. So it's be the
Be the ones
hardest
that.
people to
Mm-hmm.
do say, man, no, I
Yep.
can't do it with you. I got to do it by myself
Right.
because you slowing me
Right.
down because of the love aspect of it. Like, cause you know you care
Yeah. And
about
the
the person.
passion that you have. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And it don't,
Yeah.
it ain't mixing.
Right.
So,
That's true.
all right, the mistakes. What are some of those challenges that you face that you can tell the people about? Like something that you say, man, this was hard, but I overcame it in this way. What is the challenge you face, and how did you overcome it?
Well, one of the challenging phases for me was when I first got started. My mother and my brother was my cheerleaders, my goat. Like they was like my ride or die. Like go go go, you can do this,
Yeah,
you know. And I was trying to build my brand on my family because nobody in my family had their own business or never went into their own business. So I wanted to start something that could build for my family. I mean, for my brothers, my sisters, you know, my
yeah.
cousins, you know,
Legacy.
everybody,
Yeah.
you know, making a family thing. But I had to learn that it's okay. This is my dream. And I
Mm-hmm.
cannot get these people to see my vision that I already see and know where it's going. I can't get them to see this, so I cannot be mad or upset at them. You see what I'm saying? I have to
Facts.
just accept them for who they are. That's just like anybody that if they okay working a 9 to 5, making $10 an hour, getting a check, and they okay with that, then I have to accept that they okay with it, and I have to keep moving
Mm-hmm.
forward. That don't mean that I got to get upset with them or be mad, but I just have to accept what they want for their life. Everybody don't want to be successful. Everybody
Exactly.
don't want to be an entrepreneur. A lot of people want to just work a 9 to 5 and just be done with it.
Yeah.
Some people just like that, but you have to accept those people and move forward. So
Yeah.
I would say mine is trying to help others see that you don't have to work for somebody. You can get your own. It can be a long term, it can be whatever. Get your
Yeah.
own. But I think my biggest mistake was trying to get other people to see that they can be better for themselves when they really don't. You have to accept people for who they are and move forward.
Facts. Man, that's something I had to accept myself. Like trying
Yeah,
to make every
right,
person like
right. Can't do that.
because it clicks in at different times in people's
Right,
mind. So they might
right,
not just ain't seeing it right then and now. But if you tell
right,
them and then you wait, probably like a couple years go by, then all of a sudden they come back to you, man, you was right. You told me way back
mm-hmm,
then. Like, cause it's people that I
mm-hmm,
had to go to that was telling me, like, man, you a smart dude, man. You could do something for yourself. And I was like, man,
right,
like basically just shrugging them off, like, man, I got a good job. In my mind, that's how I
right,
was thinking. Like, I got a good job.
right.
Like
That's
this,
all I need. I'm cool
exactly.
where I'm at.
Like being
Yeah.
content, being content
Mm-hmm.
until, like I say,
Celery.
yep,
Mm-hmm.
settling for minimum. But when you making it, you like, man, this ain't enough. Like this is not
Right,
allowing me to do what I want to do. That's why I say, Bert, create your plan and work
mm-hmm.
your plan in a strategic way. It's
Right,
not saying you got to go out there and just quit your 9 to 5. No, but
right,
use your 9 to 5 to fund your dream, build your own brand, whatever that may be. You'll be surprised on the talent that you have once you start searching within yourself for the talent. Because you're going to realize
right,
something that you was doing that you love doing. And then now once you're
right,
doing something you love, now it's not feel like you working. Now you always want to
right,
do that because it's something that you love to
right.
do.
Because it's your passion. It's the passion
Exactly.
for it. You got
Exactly.
to have the passion for it. You got to have the
Exactly.
passion. And,
Because what
and another thing, whenever you're starting and whenever your mind starts to wander on different things about doing things, don't tell everybody your dreams. Write it down. Get it all mapped out for you first before you start telling people. Because a lot of people will tell your dream down before you must build it up. And then people don't want to see you succeed, so they gonna be negative, telling you, "Nah, I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't do that. I want it the way the economy is. Don't do that." No, surround yourself with positive people. Surround yourself that people that's gonna push you to do, to make yourself better, to strive, and some people that's gonna support you. That's real deal gonna support you.
Exactly. Man, you said something then, like people love to try to put their fears off on you. It's something that they're
Right.
scared to do. So when you bring it up,
Hmm.
and it might be someone that truly got true love for you, your mama. It
Right.
could be your own
Right.
mama. And you can go to your
Yeah.
mama, Mom, I want to do this. And the way that she thinks right now, it's a limited belief right there. Like once you tell
Hmm.
her your dream, if your dreams, and trust and believe, it's going to be the biggest thing that she ever heard of. So once you tell her
Right.
your dreams and they're big, she gonna instantly get frightened. You tell your parents, Mom, I want to start a meal pressure washing business. Nah, I don't think you do that. Them folks ain't gonna pay you for do that. And like, but it's people out here
Hmm.
who's being successful, pressure washing sidewalks.
Right.
Whatever your dream may be, no one can tell you that's not gonna work. If you thought about it, that means it's a market for it. You just gotta be able
Right.
to, hey, follow your dreams and create your niche, build your brand.
Right. Yeah.
So
Do your research. Find out about that
yeah,
business so you can know. Yeah.
exactly. We carry these around every day. This cell phone can teach you about anything that you want to learn about. Like once
Google and
again,
YouTube.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I learned
Google and
everything.
YouTube tell everybody
Man,
business.
I learned everything off YouTube.
Yeah.
Everything. It's a work in
Right.
progress, but hey, this is something I enjoy doing, especially if I'm talking
Right.
to other successful people and I'm getting that journey and I'm seeing how the struggles that they went through, and I'm seeing like, man, they ordinary people that did some
Right.
extraordinary things. And like, bro,
Right.
that inspired me. Like it inspired me to
Right.
hear you say, oh, you've been doing this for 13 years. Not just surviving, you thriving. And that's all
Yeah.
about belief in yourself.
Well,
When
I must say this.
yeah,
Never get it twisted. One thing you always got to know with me. First thing is first. I always put God first on whatever I'm doing. So
facts.
that's the most foremost. I serve an awesome God. Without him, I am nothing.
Mm,
So with that being said, that's why I say I don't stop. I don't stop
yeah,
grinding. I do what I have to do. It's not going to be easy, but I keep it pushing.
exactly. And like you said,
Yeah.
hey, with God first and a positive mindset, I don't feel like it's
Right,
nothing that you can't accomplish. Having a positive
right,
mind state and believing in something that's bigger than you, your dream, your goals, whatever they may be, to make sure that they're as big as they possibly can be. Because as long as they can
right.
be big, that means you'll never get to the point where you just settling because your dreams are
Right.
so big.
And that's another thing. As you grow, you have to be careful who you hang around and be around. So, other
Yes,
for you to stay successful and be successful, you got to look at somebody that's got
successful
more than
people.
you. And you gotta
Exactly.
you gotta look at some. You can't be listening to these ones that ain't got nothing, cause they got a lot of input to tell you, but they ain't got nothing going for themselves. They ain't doing nothing but sitting there on the
Exactly.
rocking chair, minding other people's business instead of taking care of their own. So you have to
Exactly.
be mindful of that.
Once you start doing something and you making mistakes, but you're doing it, you'll
Hmm.
be surprised of how
Right.
many so-called experts for that what you doing, and
Yep.
they telling you,
Yep.
nah, I think you should
Yep.
do it like this, but they ain't
Right.
did nothing for themselves. All right, okay, Soul Heaven. Now I
Hmm.
didn't ate there both cater and walk into the building. I give it a 10 out of 10.
Thank
But
you.
if you had to
Thank you.
say one thing that you feel is unique about Soul Heaven, what would that one thing be?
The passion, the love for people. See, when
Okay.
I started Soul Heaven, I built it off of like if you go into your grandmother's house.
Mm,
My
mm,
name speaks for itself.
yeah.
Black people have soul. I'm trying to get to heaven, and I always wanted my own cafe. So I ran
Mm,
that together. My name stands for something. It's not a Johnny Taylor. I don't know why people be thinking that, but it's not a Johnny Taylor. Period. It's
yeah.
it's it's, it's the passion that where I'm trying to get. So with
Mm,
that being said, that's the name that I have. One of the things is when you walk through that door, we welcome you. We want to
yeah.
make you feel more welcome as possible, just like you at home.
Yeah.
And that's our goal. So we give you great service and we give you great food. So with them two things together, it's nothing but love, baby. Nothing but
Man,
love.
nothing but, and I feel it even when catering, you got the food set up right there, and we standing in line waiting for it. Like, if any person ever had soul food, period, like that was make soul food good because you can basically taste the love that was made that
And
that
yep,
that
the
helped
love
make
that
the
was put
food.
in it.
You
Yeah.
can taste it because it tastes good. If
Mm-hmm.
it cooked with soul, you can taste it
It's
because
there.
it's
You
satisfying.
can, you
That's what's up. I'll be by tomorrow. Give me old.
can. I'll be there.
Hey, for
I'll be
real.
there.
I'm gonna come by tomorrow and
Yeah.
check it out. Okay,
Okay.
for someone else that's trying to start their own restaurant, what is some advice you can get them rolling? Like some of the first steps that they should do when they want to start their own restaurant.
The first thing they need to do is they need to come up with a business plan. A
Mm,
business plan is very, 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 very important. That's one of the things. They also need to research on whatever type of restaurant they're trying to open. You know, they need to go visit restaurant that is in the same type of industry that they're trying to go in. You know, they need to
hmm
visit, look around and see, do your research. So basically, I tell everybody, whenever you're getting ready to start a restaurant, do you a good year or maybe 2 years of research before
hmm
you go into that. You
Yeah,
know, don't just jump off in there. Do your research. And not
exactly.
only in the process of you doing your research, you wanted to be stacking your fund and saving your money so that you can have that because you're going to need every dime. See, I
Mm,
work for others to get what I wanted. You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
So I did a temporary thing. I suffered temporarily to get where I needed to be. That's another thing.
that's a
You gotta
bar.
work and have that money. You know what I'm saying? You gotta keep your mind on your goal when you working at 9 to 5 or whatever, so that you can
Mm,
get to where you need to be. So,
yeah.
first thing is a business plan. A business
Okay.
plan. Do your research and
Mm.
stack your money. Save your money. That's
Hey,
that's that's the three things I would tell you before you go into starting your own restaurant. That's what I would tell anybody.
facts. Research. So you heard it. Research, business plan, and stack your money because you're gonna need all
Hmm.
three. For
Yep.
real.
All three. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. I think you got into it a little bit when you were just explaining how you started. But when you first started the Soul Heaven and you picked your location, and this the location that you picked, how would you say you went by making your first investment for as the building, getting the food? How did you tell which food, like I'm gonna start out serving this type of food because it costs this much and I can do this much for this? Like, how did you go about deciding all that?
My menu. Okay. So here go the thing is what I did was I sat down, I wrote down all the stuff my grandmama used to cook, all the stuff that used to make our family smile, all of
Mm-hmm.
this. Cause see, all of these recipes that I cook is from my grandmother. This has been
Mm-hmm.
passed down for generation, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about my great grandmother, not my grandmother. She's my great grandmother. So
Okay.
these been passed down. So that's what I did. That's what for me. My grandmother used to cook for everybody in the neighborhood, the churches and everything. She was the cooker. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
used to bring the greens and stuff to her to cut up and well for me to cut up. But she,
Yeah.
whatever, we ain't gonna go there. But cut the greens up and everything like that. So my grandmama was the cook of the neighborhood and the cook of the church. So therefore I just brought all them things that I was used to seeing her do and made my menu with it. The passion, the love that I seen, the smile on the people's faces when they tasted her food and they ate her food and different things like that. So that's how I started with my menu.
Okay.
Real southern home cooked soul food. So
Yeah.
that's how I started my menu and stuff like that.
Okay.
And
Like,
and,
so is this your
mhm.
first location or was you located somewhere else first?
No, this is my first location. That was my
And you've
first
been in this one
location
place 13 years.
for 13 years.
See,
13
that's
years,
what's
yes.
up. That's what's up. That
So,
that's been a staple of the community. Like, because people
hmm
recognize, they know, like, nah, I'm finna go to Soul Heaven Cafe and get me something to eat.
yeah,
And people know exactly
right.
where you going. So you have employees, correct? You still have employees,
Right.
correct? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So when you was going by the hiring process, because I know in the beginning it was like pulling teeth trying to get the correct people to, who's going to be honorable and take this job serious. So how did you go about like basically picking your employees, like betting to make sure that they fit what you was looking for to be an employee?
To be honest, they had to sell themselves to me. So if
Okay.
you sat in front of me and act like you ain't know anything or wasn't for sure, then you wasn't right for my company. See, my
Mm,
my company is somebody that know they for sure. They got for sure in they self. If
mm,
they for sure in they self, then they gonna be for sure in my business. So that was
exactly.
part of the reason. One of the things I went by when I started my hiring process. It was some that I hired just because I knew they needed the help and then trying to guide them along the way. But
Mm,
for you to work for me, you had to be able to sell yourself to
yeah.
me and know what you're doing and have that passion, or I just couldn't have
Yeah.
you rocking with me. You know,
Yeah,
you got
because
to
like you,
stand for something.
yeah, because if
Yeah.
you don't know how to sell yourself, man, when I seen you out on these catering jobs and you represent Soul Heaven Cafe, and now you ain't sure yourself, if someone asks you a question about the business, bro, you gotta have enough confidence in yourself to answer the question. So betting the employee is that's a very serious thing once you get to that step
Right.
in the business process.
Right.
Okay. So this is part of the interview. I like to basically just get your opinion on these terms and just to see how you think about and feel about it. But if you had to define success, how would you say would you go about defining success?
Success is about what, to me, is about what you create. It's not about what you have. It's about what you
Mhm.
create, what you put out for yourself. Whatever type. So when you, like, for example, when you hear Soul Heaven, you hear positive thing. You hear Miss Lily. You hear that. So whenever you're trying to be successful, the best thing to do is try to put out nothing but goodness for your name and for your business, for you to be successful. You can have all the money in the world, but if you people don't know your brand and know how good your brand is, then you still broke. You still losing.
Yeah,
You still losing.
exactly. Your brand got to stand for something. It got to mean something. If someone,
Right.
like you say, if they say Soul Heaven Cafe, bro, you can put a face on it. I know the
Right.
face that's attached to that name. If you got a brand, but don't no one knows that's you. I mean, you can
Mm-hmm.
make money in it, but it's not. What do it mean? It don't mean nothing to
Right.
nobody. It ain't like because people like to connect people. Like when you hear a certain name, it mean more when you connect a face, a person with that brand. So if you describing success as that, like, hey, I can't see it no other way because I sure want people to recognize me when they hear likable figures,
Right.
connect the brand with the face. So I respect that.
That's right.
So about the whole journey, this whole entire journey of starting your restaurant and chasing and follow your dreams, what would you say you enjoyed the most about your journey?
Oh, just the passion that I was in, where I was most comfortable at, what I love to do, and what I love to do was cook. That was my passion. I always loved to cook. So
Mm,
I think that's more, to me, was the most successful thing that I could have done. I had started to lose the passion for a minute when I was working for others, because
yeah,
the love wasn't there. You just following the recipe, boom, bam. But when you love what you're doing and you have the passion and the thrive for it, oh, it's just an awesome feeling. It's just
yeah,
it's awesome. Yeah,
yeah.
it's just
Because it'd
awesome.
be
It, it's
unbelievable.
it's not a job. It's
Exactly.
you love it. Yeah. Mhm.
Exactly. It'd be
Mhm.
unbelievable when I think about it. When I think I'm like, man, I'm doing something that when I'm doing it, it doesn't feel like I'm working, but I'm getting paid as
Right.
if I was working.
You actually enjoying, and you making a living off of it. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's an awesome feeling.
Yeah.
It's an
And some
awesome
people don't
feeling.
believe that it's possible. Whatever you love to
Right.
do, there's a way to make a
Right.
living doing it. There's a way. And
Right.
some things might
Right.
not be a $1 billion idea, but if it's something that you love to do and it's providing your lifestyle, bro, that's better than $1 billion.
And it's not gonna happen overnight. It's
At
a lot of
all.
dedication. I tell people all the time, you get what you put in it. If you put
Exactly.
2 hours, you're going to get only 2 hours. If you put the time, the passion, and the hard dedication and sweat and the work, you're going to get a return. But if you're not putting in the work, you ain't going to get it. You got to market yourself. You got to be your cheerleader for you and your business for you to be successful.
And like I wanted to tell you, like when you said, hey, put the research, study for 2 years. Like when you talk about business-wise, and you creating a business and building a brand, man, listen, 2 years is not a long time. 5 years ain't a long time. If your dreams are so big, you want to see your brand, the company be so big, man, think about the person you got to become to be that big. You're not the same individual that was in the first day. Like now you wiser, you more equipped, you believe in yourself more, you done went through more, you got more scars, you done been healed more, you done been pushed to the limit and seen that now I got another level I can reach. You
more knowledge,
yourself.
more wisdom. Yeah, you got more knowledge, more wisdom. You got all of that. And see, I just don't own Soul Heaven. I have I do catering and all that. Got my food trailer, but I have lunch service. I have rental houses. You know, I does it all. I don't just stop at food. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I'm a licensed counselor. So I mean, when I tell you I gets it, I gets it. You know, at any means necessary.
Exactly. Like well-rounded individual. That's what I preach that here. Don't put limits on yourself. You can do all things. Like it's people that I hired to edit videos for me. But I know how to hire a good person because I learned how to do it for myself. Once you learn something, it can't be taken away. Think about all the knowledge you got right now that you can go in any field. Hey, this don't work. I know how to do this.
Don't limit yourself. Don't put limitation on yourself. Stop limiting yourself. Sky's the limit, and that's a true saying. The sky is the limit. Only person can stop you from getting it is you. It's a look in the mirror. You got to tell yourself, hey, we ain't scared. We ain't scared to fall. That floor ain't that far down. Get up off that floor.
I'd have been to zero. I know how to handle zero. I'd have been there. So if I go back there, hey, I know how to get ugly and grind my way back up. So if you had to say it was a person that you would say that you look to and say, man, I like the way that they did it. And I can do it just like they did it. Who would you say a person is that you did that to?
Well, I'm gonna say my brother, and the reason why I'm gonna say that he have passed away because he used to always tell me, you know, sis, is nothing you cannot do. Look, get up, do your research, or strive, you know, to do whatever you want to do to make your life for your life better. And when I say that, he was a go-getter. He when I tell you it wasn't nothing that he couldn't do. It was like from roofing, from washing cars to cooking, he did it all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He did it all. So with that being said, he was my motivation. You know, it was like, come on, he was there. Like he was pushing me. Even when I got scared, he pushed me. You know what I'm saying? For 3 years when I was open, I never came to the front. Nobody never knew who I was because I was always used to being in the back. My brother made me come up out that kitchen. Hey, you gotta get out front. You gotta introduce yourself to your customers. You gotta talk to them. You gotta do this. You gotta do that.
Yeah. Man, hey, that's
you know
value. And think about it. Like you said, 3 years you stayed in the back. And then a person believed in you more than, because sometimes it take that. It take a person, it be that person that believe in you more than you believe in yourself. So that person believe in you like, nah, you say you want to do this, right? Get out there and do and give it your all. If it fail or if it succeed, at least you know I gave it my all doing it. You know, because if you don't give it your all and it fail, Now you can't say it don't work.
It's called knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge
Yeah,
and wisdom.
yeah,
Years behind your belt, learning, getting up,
yeah,
falling down, getting back up, dusting yourself off. That's all it is. You
yeah,
just can't be scared. You just got to do it. You know what I'm saying? You just
yeah.
got to do
If
it.
you
Okay.
had something to say to that person that's out there that's trying to that's want to do it but scared, what would you say to that person to get them to just get out there and do it?
First and foremost, I would say pray to God and ask God to guide you. Is this the passion that He has for you? See,
Mm,
my cafe is my ministry. That's why I minister too. Is my
mm,
food. So you got to ask God. You know, you want to find out. You know, if you don't believe in God, whoever you believe in, or sit down and write out you a plan or whatever you may want to do. But again, to me, the best thing you can do is stop being scared and just walk on faith. Faith is a mug. All you just need just a little bit of faith. And I promise I ain't look back at when I started working for somebody, I was making $32 an hour. That's
mm.
been 14 years ago. And
Yeah,
I hadn't turned around yet.
thanks.
I hadn't turned around yet
Man,
at all.
perfect. That's perfect. Perfect way to end it. Perfect way to get a knowledge. I mean, to give them some inspiration on the way out the door. But Miss Lily, I want to say I thank you again for doing
You're
this for
welcome.
me
You're welcome.
and for coming on to the show. It was a great episode, a great interview, and I feel like the people got a lot of insight on you, basically how you started and how you went throughout your journey. So I just want to say I
Yeah.
thank you again. And that was another episode of Likeable Figures. You know, my name is Major
All right.
Wala. This is my friend, the owner of Soul Heaven Cafe, Miss Lily. And she got some of the best
Yeah, they changed
food
it.
in the city. And like I say, that was another episode, and peace.